Oh, thanks for having me.
Gerald, what is your take on what happened? Now, you're telling me before we came on air about you being over in Hong Kong and how people mobilize themselves. Can you share with us exactly what you saw and what you experienced with your very own eyes over there and how it affected the world?
Well, I wasn't over there in Hong Kong. I used to be on the media all the time on the TV. And what I was saying was that the COVID war 2020 changed the world. The damage that it has done physically, psychologically, economically, spiritually is unprecedented.
Mm.
The COVID war has destroyed the lives and livelihoods of billions of people across the planet. So when I used to be on Hong Kong TV, the protests were going on in 2019. They couldn't stop them. This is a city of 7.5 million people, and 1 million people plus were taking to the streets. So I'm doing these interviews, and we take a break. It was like 20-minute interviews. And I say to the reporter, so tell me, what's going on? He said, Mr. Celente, we're not going to stop. We're not going to let them take over. They're robbing us of our freedom. We're going to keep fighting this. Go back to 2019 and look at the media if you want to look at the research and see what was going on in Hong Kong. All of a sudden, the COVID war begins. January 2020, Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the rat.
Wow.
Remember what happens. All of a sudden, they're showing these pictures, people walking down the street, boom, falling down, freaking everybody out. Oh, the Chinese are building hospitals and units to take care of the people. This COVID is coronavirus. The coronavirus is threatening. Boom. They locked down the city of Yuan, where it happened. And they locked down one city after another, and then they locked down Hong Kong. Passed the Security Act, the riots were over. China's in charge. And then both of us being paisanos, who was the first country to lock down?
Italy. Yeah.
Oh, they freaked people are dying. The average age of the people dying, again, we write the Trends Journal magazine. We only put facts in there. The motto of the magazine is think for yourself. My father, may his soul rest in peace, when I was a kid, I shoot my mouth off. Again, I'm a Napolitano, born in the Bronx. I'm born to be free. He'd say to me, stop repeating what everybody else is. He said, in Italian, he'd say, Papagallo, parrot, stop repeating what everybody else is saying and think for yourself. So the magazine, we put the facts in there, and then we give our trends analysis and trend forecasts. So going back to what happened, Italy closes down. The average age of the people dying was 81 years old, pre-existing comorbidities. And the freak show started. Oh, everybody's dying. We used to make fun of the Chinese for wearing those masks. We used to make fun of the Chinese way, you must obey. Hey, I'm little Andy Cuomo. I'm the governor of New York. Close down your businesses. So then they're making up this crap. Stand 1 meter apart. No, I think we're in Norway. We're going to stand 1.5 meters apart. I had little stupid people out here in my building across the street. They moved the farmers market from the street into a big parking lot, the county office building over here, big parking lot. And little adults, like kindergarten kids, painting circles on the sidewalk going into the farmers market 6 feet apart. The wind only blows in straight lines 6 feet apart. It doesn't blow in circles, doesn't blow up and down. Putting circles in front of the vendors 6 feet apart, and little people obeying this crap. The damage that they've done with the COVID war has destroyed the lives and livelihoods of billions of people. And then the crap that they used to crap. Oh, it'll come back. Oh, it'll come back. It's not coming back. The damage is done. Look at the office occupancy rates. In the United States, they're less than 50%. Think of all the businesses that used to depend on commuters. 30% of the dry cleaners are dried out. They're gone.
Yeah.
All the happy hours, no more happy hours. You want to see a real estate crash? Wait till the commercial office space is going to be a disaster. Oh, and now interest rates are going up. Oh, and you got to pay more on your loans. Oh, and you don't have people coming in. They're vacant and nobody wants, and you're overbuilt to begin with.
Gerald, since this pandemic, this assault on our senses, our minds, our morals, our spirituality, the governments have introduced these policies that are so totalitarian and archaic. Why do you think governments, like here in Australia and New Zealand, we had the biggest lockdown in Victoria.
Yep.
We hold the gold medal for that. Why are they doing this? What is this all about?
They're power-hungry little freaks. They're little jerk-offs. They're nothing little boys and girls. I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate at 26 years old.
Wow.
I used to run major political campaigns in Westchester County, the richest county in America. They were grooming me.
Wow.
It was the worst job I ever had. You hire a clown to open up the door, Senator Frank Jones, Senator Tom Smith, and my buddies. I'm a young guy. You're talking about girls, you're talking about sports, you're talking about cars, having a good time. The senator would walk in. They'd follow the senator to the seat. Big, beautiful chairs. You could blow on them and they move. And they pull the chair out and push it back in so the senator could sit down. And they'd come back. And I say, hey, man, what's the matter? Cat can't sit down by himself. He needs some help. You know, Gerald, you have that kind of an attitude. You're not going to make it here. I said, listen, that's not my trip. My mother, may she rest in peace, when a situation would happen and I didn't know what it was, she'd say to me, I hate cowards. I didn't know what a coward was. When I found out what a coward was, you know, I wouldn't disrespect my mother, although I've done other things she wouldn't have been happy about. But yeah, I'm a man. I'm a kid. I was the smallest kid. You know, they used to put us in line. I grew up in the Bronx. You know, one time I got beat up. I came home crying. My father said, you don't come home crying. I learned how to fight. I had my own school, close combat, for many years.
Wow.
I'm a fighter. I'm not a pacifist. I don't want war. I'm for peace. I'm totally for peace, totally against what's going on in Ukraine. Totally, over in Australia, what is that? AUKUS, that Australia, you know, United Kingdom and you know, joining up to fight, you know, the Chinese. Oh, you want to go back to Gallipoli? You like that one?
Yeah.
So I'm saying you got mentally ill people running the show. They're psychopaths, sociopaths, and pathological liars. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. And so you're asking me, how can anybody listen to a moron like Morrison? I forgot what was her name, the other one that they got rid of over in your country because she was screwing some guy. Gladys been jerking off or something. What was her name?
That was the Premier of New South Wales, Gladys Berejiklian.
Yeah, been jerking off. Yeah, there's me and Reagan. I pick him up at Chicago Hilton.
Wow.
30 years old.
So Gerald, what's the agenda between these? I don't call them elites. I call them the deletes. What's the economic agenda from governments and the likes of the World Economic Forum in your opinion?
It's very simple. It's very simple. The bigs are taking over everything. When I was a young guy, there used to be grocery stores, drug stores, hardware stores, stationery stores. Now there are hardware chains, drug store chains, grocery chains, stationery chains. These little low-life politicians, politics, they never work a day in their life. All they do is suck off the public tit. And what morons and imbeciles call campaign contributions are bribes and payoffs. So what they do and what's happened is they do what they're told. Let's go back to the COVID war. And what did they do? They lowered interest rates to 0 and negative. And now we'll look at your merger and acquisition activity. In 2021, at an all-time high, buying up everything. That's the agenda. They're power-hungry freaks. All they want is more money. I want more money. I'm a billionaire and I want more billions. I could care less about you. No. They're mentally ill.
Yeah. Gerald, for the average person, right now, the huge cost of living, the average family's finding it harder and harder to find and meet. And yet there's been this huge transfer of wealth globally to the elites. What do you think the average person can do in this economic climate to really overcome and not survive, but try to thrive it somewhat?
Number one, get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 76 years old in November, if I make it, if they don't kill me. Because they do kill you if you don't like it. They just killed a bunch of people over in Mexico. They just killed somebody in a journalist over there in Philippines.
Yeah.
For coming out against the crime syndicate running the show. So anyway, you think I want to work out every day? You think I don't want to eat more? I buy the best quality that I can, and again, I surround myself with art. I rather cook and pot plant. I have over in my office in my building. I have over 200 plants. I take care of them all. So but you have to get in the best shape you can. And I study every day. From the Financial Times to the Wall Street Journal to the New York Times to Bloomberg to Global Times in China to Al Jazeera to the Iranian news agency to Haaretz, the Israeli. I follow the world. I study every day. And the most important thing is in trend forecasting, all things are connected. Or as Chief Seattle said, all things are connected like the blood which unites us all. So you don't only do what you like, you want to see what's going on globally, socioeconomically, and you make connections between different fields. No, if you're interested in the economy, you just don't stay on the economy. You got to look at geopolitics, see what's going on. And you don't I'm a political atheist. It's not what I want, what I wish for, it's what is. So those are the things that you have to do. And again, I don't give financial advice, but for me, gold is to me the number one top asset. It's the precious and most precious metals. Let's go back to the COVID war.
Yeah.
These freaks pumped up the economies and equity markets with negative and zero interest rate, and they bullshitted from Lagarde over there that used to run the International Mafia Federation, or the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and then became the head of the European Central Bank, to this clown Powell over here, the bankster running the central bank in the United States, the Federal Reserve. That's as Federal Express. There's nothing federal about them. Oh, inflation is only temporary. No, it's transitory. And in the woke world, let's call it transgendatory. Yeah. They lied about it. They knew it was real. They all BS that when inflation hits 2%, we're going to raise interest rates. Hey, wait a minute. What do you got in Europe now? What is it, 9.1%? How come you didn't raise it all along? What is it in the United States? 8.5, 8.3%? Yeah. Oh, no, it's only. So they did it to artificially prop up the equity markets and the economy as they launched the COVID war. Wow. So it's the two things. It's the power of the bigs, the elites owning everything, and we're just plantation workers of Slavelandia. And number two, government control. I'll tell you what to do. How can anybody listen to a little nobody boy like Morrison? Oh, and all the other acts that he did to take control that came out later. You meet that little boy in the street and have him come to me. Tell him, Celente, I want you to do this. Go pick that up. Hey, fat boy, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Gerald.
No, men aren't men anymore.
No, it's not. No. We have in Australia right now, we got a major problem with woketopia. One of the things that I came out swinging 2 years ago, Gerald, I was minding my own business, and I could see that there was, I'm a street guy, and I could smell a rat. I did not know it was the year of the rat. And Morrison got kicked out of government. Now the Conservatives are basically drowning. They're not even Conservatives. I want to ask you a question as a global observer. What are you seeing amongst these Conservatives that are no longer Conservatives? There's no difference between them and these leftist crazy nutcases. What's your take on these guys?
Yeah, I told you they're mentally ill. They're psychopaths, pathological liars, sociopaths. Again, World War II isn't ancient history. And look at Europe was destroyed. Berlin was grander than Paris before it was destroyed. Look what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Look at all the buildings, all the lives that are being destroyed. Not a peep about peace. Look what peace is a dirty word. I launched Occupy Peace movement back in 2014. Obama was the president, the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner. I want that guy Assad out of there. I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. They're that guy. But you have to say it properly, Celente. Don't be like that. Say it like Obama says it. We're going to bring freedom and democracy to Libya, and we're going to steal their oil because it's the easiest oil to get out of the ground. And you think we invaded Iraq because their major export was broccoli? So I launched Occupy Peace. I had a major peace movement here on July 23rd of this year. I had Judge Andrew Napolitano, a top guy, used to be on Fox News, top judicial expert, former Supreme Court judge in New Jersey. Scott Ritter, the guy that worked for the former Marine, worked for the United Nations, and he was the head of their nuclear armaments issues, and said that Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. I had Phil Giraldi, former CIA guy that quit the CIA because he said all the CIA knew that there was no weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. I had a big rally over here. Cost tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Had bands playing, vendors. Sent out over 3,000 press releases over the course of 3 weeks. Zero coverage. You're not allowed to talk about peace. What are you? We only have to kill people. Didn't you like the Vietnam War? Oh, you didn't like the Korean War? How about the Afghan War? You didn't like the two To Iraq wars? You didn't like Obama's wars? Why, Celente, how dare you fight for peace? We are at World War III. Everybody get this in your head. They blew up the Nord Stream pipelines.
Yeah.
We have the quotes in the Trends Journal come out from Newland, from Biden, saying they were going to get rid of them before they happened. They teach us in school. World War I happened when they assassinated the Archduke Ferdinand in Sarajevo. What the hell is an Archduke and where's a Sarajevo? You don't think it was leading up to that? There's going to be either a nuclear exchange or a false flag. We have mentally ill people that are going to destroy life on the planet, and they throw out the look what happened. Look what happened a couple of days ago. North Korea threw some missiles over South Korea. What did Japan do? Everybody get in your bomb shelter. Get in a bomb shelter? If a nuclear war happens, dumbbell, you're in a bomb shelter, you want to live a life in it coming out from a bomb shelter? Life is destroyed. This is the most important thing that I can say. If we don't, World War III has begun.
Gerald, you made a statement, and I love your quotes, you know, the banksters and the International Mafia Federation. I love that. Gerald, what can the average person do to be free of the shackles of the job system? Like, we're big believers in financial education. I know you've done something with Robert Kiyosaki, great friend of ours. How important is it for people to be financially independent of the systems and the cartels?
Totally. At the bottom line. It's the bottom line. Matter of fact, the bottom line used to be a saying, it's the economy, stupid. This is a T-shirt that I did back when Bill Clinton ran for president. Beware a Slick Willie.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
You know what the word was in the campaign? It's the economy, stupid. That's all the people are interested in. All this other stuff, it's the economy, stupid. And by the way, when all else fails, they take it to war. And the global economies are failing. And they're going to fail big time. So people better be in the best financial shape they can. Everything that they could do. Again, to me, it's, guns, gold, and a getaway plan. But gold to me is the number one. And I'll put my trend forecasting track record up against anyone's. When it comes to finances, that's not my trip. That's not what I do. I go to people that know that that's not my field. I go to the experts in that field.